Hello and welcome to jasonnewland.com. My name's Jason Newland. This is Let Me Bore You to Sleep. Please only listen when you can safely. Close your eyes. A bit of water. I've got the door open to the living room and the windows open in the... well, the window's open. Would it be pointless me telling you the window's open in the bathroom, because that's not going to affect the noise here. But yeah, the window's open here, so there's a chance that old Vinny will bark. Again, there's not really much point me telling you that because I'm going to edit it out anyway. But there might be some other background sounds. You know, I realised, did I say only listen when you can safely close your eyes? The only thing I realised today, I was talking to someone in the park. You know, we're doing the WALKINGEL, Vinny, and I noticed I was stuttering over my words with this person, and I didn't know what to say to them. I don't generally have that problem when I make these recordings. I mean, to be fair, I never run out of words when I do these recordings. So I wonder what it is. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to go through what's happened this week. Or shall I? Shall I go through what's happened this week? Today is Sunday, the 2nd of February. No, 2nd of March. I like March because it's the easiest one to spell. 2nd of March 2025. It's 15:50 p.m. And it's sunny outside. It's been sunny all day, and I've spent a lot of the day in bed. Not a lot of the day, this last couple of hours, just listening to Bob Dylan. With his music, not him. Listening to Bob. But I love some. I know people used to make fun of his voice, like, oh, he's got such a horrible voice, it's so grating. Me. I love Bob Dylan's voice. I don't know, I just love his voice. He's got such a great voice for singing. I mean, no one else, I've never heard anyone else that sounds like him. Yeah. The old pigeons are going. I wonder what they're communicating. It's got to be weird talking to them because they're a bit repetitive. Unless there's variations in tempo, or there might be sounds that we can't hear that birds can hear. I don't know. I suppose they have to have different sounds, don't they, all the birds, because there's so many of them, all kind of talking at the same time, trying to reach each other with their voices, all sitting in a big tree. You know, like 20 different varieties of bird. I've not counted them, just guessing. Which is weird, I can hear the birds, but I can't see them. And you may say, well, look out the window. No, I don't mean that. I'm looking at the tree, because it's a huge tree outside. Most trees are outside, but that one there, big, and it's bare because there's no leaves or anything at the moment. Actually, there is. Isn't it weird how even though 99.9.9 or whatever percent of all the leaves are gone, a couple still hang on, don't they? They're still hanging on. They won't give up. The thing is, are they preventing the new leaves from coming through? That's a controversial thing, isn't it? You're holding up the... You need to just let go so your young uns can come. Come on, you're in the way. No, I've just retired. I want to stick around. I mean, that leaf is brown, so it's it's not quite got its colour back that it used to have, but it seems happy. I'm looking at it. I can't see it very well because, to be fair, without the glasses, I wouldn't be able to see the tree. But this, I can see this leaf. It's just there. It's not moving. Well, they rarely dance, to be honest. But there's no wind. I mean, it's just there, and it seems quite content. It's in a good position so we can see over the fence as well as over our fence. Probably see into the windows of the top flats. Half expecting to see it like pulling out some binoculars. That'd be weird though, wouldn't it? Not really sure what's gone on this week in my life. I know what's gone in this, on the television. In my life. It's my life. It's my life. I'm trying to think. Sometimes I just like it to be nice outside. Even if I'm not out there. It's just nice to go out for, because I have to take him out a few times a day. It's a bit more pleasant just to have this bit of sunniness. Yeah. Oh yeah, yes, last night boxing was on in the evening and also early hours of the morning as well, because it was in America as well as being in Ireland. So I started watching the one in Ireland, and I just realised that I struggle to maintain interest in boxing, in the fights, if I don't know anything about the people, anything about the boxers. And that's what was on last night. Okay, is it true? Yeah. There was no... I don't know, there might have been someone on there that I knew about. But generally, I didn't... No, there wasn't. There was no one on there. Didn't know anyone. And maybe that's because I've been spoilt lately with the huge fights that have been on and that have been run by Riyadh season. In America, in the UK, in Dubai. I think they've got one in Mexico as well coming up, or they might have had one in Mexico last year. So they're spreading, I think maybe one in Australia. So there's these big events where they're not all like huge, where you've got like multiple title fights, like 5, 6 world title fights, but they're all got known people on, and maybe a couple of world title fights, and the undercards. See, can you hear that in the garden? Sorry about that. But even the undercard's interesting. Oh, I just had to go and close the window and close the door. There's a lot of screaming in the garden. I don't know how much you can hear on here, but I know that I can hear it and Vinny can hear it. it's the people that talk really close. They're like inches away from each other, but they're shouting. It's kind of a weird thing. I mean, I suppose it might just be the inability to judge, because some people can't judge distance, can they? I know someone that I've known people in the past that will speak to me, but they'll be literally like so close, and they don't realise they're that close to me, and until I blow on them, and then they realise, oh, I think I'll step back a few yards. As you've been eating garlic again, but they don't know distance, and some people don't seem to be aware of volume. I've known people like that, and it's like so loud, and like, can you not hear the difference in volume? Because I'm not particularly a loud person. I can be, but I'm not. If I shout, the whole world can hear it. I'm a loud shouter. If I shout, I don't shout, but occasionally when I have to. Once Vinny was running out of the park with another dog. This is in the days where I could let him off the lead. Can't anymore. And he ran off with another dog, and the other owners was there looking, what we can do, because they were running towards the road, which is something that he'd never done before. I don't know if he was going to go to the pet shop or whatever. Come on, don't matter about them, just ignore them. And I shouted, yeah, whatever. I might have said a naughty word, and he stopped. The other dog started running back before he did. The lady next to me, aged about 10 years, I didn't know I was going to shout that loudly, but everyone heard, and they both ran back. Vinny was on his back, like being all submissive. I just wanted him not to run in the road. That's all. It's not too much to ask. But generally, I'm not a shouter. I like to conserve my voice. That's not really the reason. I guess I'm not just. Yeah, I'm just not a shouter. Some people are shouters, some people aren't. I'm not a shouter. I'm a kind of moaner. I do moan. Moan at Vinny a bit too much sometimes. Just like, can you stop barking? Shut up, stop it. And there's only 2 reasons. 3 reasons. There's only three sort of different scenarios. No, 4 different scenarios. 4 different scenarios where. No, 5 different scenarios. 5 different scenarios where Vinny barking is. No, 6. 6 different scenarios where Vinny's barking is a little bit of a problem. And the first one is because of the neighbours downstairs. I don't want him barking and I've only got one set of neighbours that he can disturb when he's inside the flat with me. Only one that can really be affected by him. You can hear it in the hallway, but you can't hear it in the other flats. And he's never barking for long, so it's not really a huge issue. But I get on very well with my neighbours downstairs that are directly below me, and I'm directly above them. Yeah, I'm above them. And they don't seem to be bothered, and he gets on really well with them. He loves them, but I just like, okay, that's the thing. And at night, especially at night, or early hours of the morning, The other one is when I'm asleep. That's probably, in some ways, that's the biggest one, because he did it today. This morning, he woke me up about 4 o'clock by barking. or 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the mornings, between 4 and 5, and he was barking and he jumped off the bed, and I don't think he was trying to wake me up in a sense of, well, he might have been poking at me for half an hour trying to get me up. I don't know, but it seemed like he heard something that kind of disrupted him to be barking. So I get up and there's no one at the door, there's no sounds that I can hear. So those two are reasons. Then the third one would be in the hallway. So when we're making our way outside from where I live, so we go through the front door, I close the front door. Always close the front door quietly, because this chair's as creaky as my spine. Always close the door quietly. But I realise I might be doing that with a little bit of anger in me, because I've got two neighbours that don't. They let the doors slam downstairs, and it's unnecessary, I think. And again, it's like they can't hear it. Maybe they can't hear it, but it shakes the building, and the hallway's very echoey. Really echoey. I don't quite. Maybe all hallways are echoey, like communal hallways in blocks of flats. When I say that, I wish I could live to be like 500 years old. Just like how cool it would it be to still be here in 500 years and just talk about the changes, and I don't know why. It's just sometimes when I think about I don't know why it's the hallway that makes me think of this. But it reminds me that I've lived here for 10 years, and I was 44 years old when I moved in, and I'm going to be 55 years old at the end of August, and I'm not heading in any kind of good direction. It's like, oh, I had it this earlier in the week, or 2 weeks ago. I had this real thought. I thought, you know what? If I could set up a membership and just have £1 a month from people it's basically just to support me. It wasn't even about listening to old recordings or anything. It's just a way to support me. But this is my thinking. If I did that, then over time it would grow. Over time, maybe because I'd need at least 2,000 just to break even, and live and everything like that, because of all the expenses and running of this thing. So I'd need a couple of thousand to earn just to sort of cover my living costs and all that stuff, the running costs of the podcasts, the equipment and things like that. But over time, going forward, it might reach 10,000 subscribers, and then hopefully it won't take too long, so I won't have to wait. And worst case scenario, I'll have a good pension. So when I retire, I will be able to travel and continue doing this, but do it in a go on a cruise and just travel around and take my recorder with me and just record myself and do these every day and just continue and actually have an interesting, enjoyable lifestyle with something to look forward to. So I thought that would be cool. That was the not worst case scenario, but that was as far as the membership thing goes. And I was thinking, okay, so if it takes, because I'm 55 now, I can retire, I think, when I'm 68. In fact, it's not a case of I will be forced to retire, even though technically I'm not working, but so that might sound like a weird idea, but the whole financial situation changes once I hit 68. So it will be, it shouldn't be that way, but it might be financially more difficult for me. So it seems like a good idea because I've got no private pension. I don't know what the healthcare is going to be like in those, come that time. So literally, it's only 13 years away. 13 and a half years away. I mean, blimey. Really? 55, 65, 66, 67, 68. That's over 7 years away. So it's like, it's moved so quick. And that was where I was with the membership. It wasn't like, oh, I want to be rich. I know, I'll get £1 a month from millions of people. Because I know there's not millions of people out there that are going to want to listen to me. Not at the moment. Definitely not. There's, I say, it's hard to judge, to be fair. But there's a few thousand dip in and out. Probably a few thousand different people listen regularly on a weekly basis. Maybe 10,000 people out there that listen occasionally. And there might be I don't know. I mean, regularly, once a week is quite irregular, isn't it? I mean, a lot of podcasts are only weekly anyway. But there's probably, I'd say, maybe 500 up to 1,000 people that listen daily to my recordings. But there's, those people that maybe listen every few months, or maybe only listen to a recording that's relevant to what they need at that time. So, yeah, it wasn't about like being rich. I'm already rich in my pence. I'm not, it wasn't about that. But it felt quite nice while I was doing it, while I was preparing this, thinking I could actually have a lifestyle. I could have... Now, I know I can't really go away and leave Vinny, although I do have something set up for that. His best friend Archie, I spoke to his mum, and she said that she'd look after him for a week or something if I, needed to go away somewhere. And I'd chuck her a few quid or whatever for it, but he'd love it. Vinny would absolutely love being with there's 2 dogs. He'd love it, absolutely love it. He'd be happy all day long, I think, because he's really close to Archie. They got a real well. Actually, the other dog as well. They all like each other, but Archie's the one who he used to run around in the park with. But now I can't let him off the lead anymore, so we can't do that anymore. So I was just, yeah. It's not that I've got the travel bug. It's just because I know what I do is boring, and it's it's supposed to be boring and all that stuff. But I think I have a little bit more to talk about when I've actually done something. It's like imagine how. I just think the stories would be the podcast would improve if I was talking about getting ready to go somewhere and booking a cruise, and then what the cruise is going to be like, and wondering what it's going to be like, and then getting ready to travel and packing and then travelling, and each day doing a podcast talking about what's happened on that day, and flight delays, or ferry delays, just not finding it hard to having to keep avoiding all the women that are after me and just keep falling in love with me. And If yeah, so, you know, just it might be interesting, and I could start doing weird courses, like little courses, and on board. I don't know, like dancing and just I don't know. It could just be interesting, an interesting way to spend my. Now, these aren't my I hope this is not my twilight years. But you know, I don't. I suppose after the ages of 70, that is maybe twilight years. I don't personally feel that that's an offensive word, but maybe it is. It's not to me. But I'm not 70. I'm 50. And I still got a way to go before I get to 70. So I don't know what these years are. But I think it'd be nice to be able to do stuff. I mean, even while I've got Vinny here, I could travel around the country and stay in hotels that are dog friendly, or you know, things like that. They're all over the country, and it just could be cool. Visit the different places, because we've got lots of lovely places around here, you know, on this bit of land that I'm living on. And then maybe move to Europe. Not move to Europe, but like travel to Europe. And I don't know if you're allowed to take pets across the ferry. I don't know what the rules are there. I don't suppose you can take them on a day trip, can you? Can you? Let's have a look. Can I take my Moggy? Moggy, that's a cat, isn't it? Not a dog. My dog. Can I take my Vinny? I wonder if they'll know what I mean. On a ferry to Belgium. Travelling by ferry with your pet. Available from 96 hours before your departure. Simply log in with your Brittany Ferries account details, and you can get instant confirmation whether your pet's travel documents documentation is valid to travel. How to travel with pets to Belgium. Pet import regulations. Okay. No, I'm not relocating. Come on. They've actually got a website for people relocating to Belgium. I'm not saying that it wouldn't be a great place. Why people think that I've got an issue with Belgium? I love Belgium. It's just whenever I say something, it sounds like I'm having a go at Belgium. And I'm not. Genuinely, I'm not. I think Belgium's lovely. It was the first foreign country that I ever went to in my life. The first. And I went there by ferry. I've been there at least 3 times. And probably one of the most exciting, the best 3 days out. Yeah, probably 3 of the best days. Okay, it's hard to say of my life, but back then, it would have been 3 of the best days of my life. Back then, before I'd been to a real country. See, I can't stop myself. I'm just joking. Blimey. Get your own language. And so yeah, I was just. The first time I went to Belgium was with the family, and the sea was really, really choppy, and I'm not sure if we were even able to get off the ferry. I'm pretty sure they might have even got there and turned back. But I didn't care. See, I wasn't affected by it. Now that's a bit rude, isn't it? My stepmom was very ill. She wasn't wasn't good with boats. I was not affected by boats, never have been. Just like, it's a little bit like being on a ride, you know, those rides that dip, right? Or going up and down a hill. It's like it affects your tummy, but it didn't affect me in any kind of way. And I wasn't scared either, because I was a little bit, because I think she was going on to the... Yeah, no, I wasn't scared. To be fair, things like that didn't scare me when I was a kid. And the second time we went, I think it was better weather. And I'm surprised that my dad got her back on a ferry, knowing that she was going to be ill, and I think she was still ill as well. If anything, I think it's probably a bit cruel on her, wasn't it? She just do something different. There's other ways to travel. Don't have to go on a ferry. But yeah, I wouldn't go on a ferry if it was having that effect on me. Mind you, I didn't used to like flying. I don't love it. I don't dream about it and wake up with a big smile on my face, holding a donut. But I'm alright with it. I'm not that bothered anymore. But ferries, I love ferries. By the way, if you don't know what a ferry is, it's like a ship that goes, floats on the water. You might not call them ferries where you live. They're almost cruise ships, really, but they're not. They're just ferries. They're not, but they still have restaurants and bars and all that stuff. Cinema, one of the ones had a cinema, or two in fact. I think I went to the cinema twice. But the other one was when I was going to Ireland. So I've been on one, including the return journeys. I've been to Belgium, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So it's 6 journeys. 3 journeys to Belgium, but 6 6 actual journeys. Then I went to Ireland and back twice. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 journeys. And then I travelled to the Isle of Man and back 11, 12. There's 12 ferry journeys I've done. And I've liked most of them. The one I didn't enjoy was the journey to the Isle of Man, because the whole day took too long. I was stuck in the back of a car for so long as we travelled from where my dad lives, or where I was picked up where I lived, going all the way to Liverpool. And then the ferry was delayed. We went to Blackpool, and it was the windiest day in history. My nan got stuck inside a public toilet, one of those mini toilet things, and it blew away. I mean, that was funny, but other than that, it was... it didn't blow away, but she did get stuck in a porta cabin. Porta potty. It was a porta cabin. And she couldn't get out. She's still there. That's 20 years. 21 years now. Hope she's all right. So by the time we got onto the ferry, and we were going to be travelling all night, we should have got the ferry in the afternoon. That was what the ferry was. But when we left off early hours of the morning, like 6 in the morning or something, and I think we were supposed to get there left at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon and be there and whatever. Well, because of all the delays, because of the high winds, this is in 2004, in the summer, we ended up travelling overnight. So when we eventually got onto the ferry, it was not busy at all. It was a very quiet ferry. I mean, it wasn't quiet, it was made a lot of noise, but the people, wasn't a lot of people. And my dad, my stepmom, my nan was sitting there, and I said to them, bye, and I walked off, and I found another part of the ferry to go to sleep. I had to get away from them. I could not stand being near them anymore. I'd had enough of the day. It was too long, and I was listening to people talking all day long, and I was just and I needed to get away, and yeah, and that was during my yeah, I was going through a few issues at the time as well, so I just needed to get away. I was okay. I mean, I tried to sleep, didn't get much sleep on the ferry, got on the Isle of Man, went straight to sleep when I got to my auntie's. That's where we were staying, and I stayed in a room which was full of trains. What, a train station? No, it was a room. It was like the toy trains that some adults like to play with. So that was where I was sleeping. But I had a nice sleep. It was nice. Well, I think I could have slept. Yeah, I think I could have slept on a hammock which was facing 3 or 4 elephants all farting in my direction. I probably wouldn't have heard it. I was so sleepy. And my voice is going. And then when I woke up, I was awake and I was okay. I just needed to get that back, get my equilibrium returned, sort of. Just trying to think what. The ferries to Ireland were overnight as well, but I chose that. I'm fine to travel overnight. It's perfect for me. It was back then. I mean, I travelled overnight. That was like 10 years earlier, and 94, 95, whatever. So I was happy with that. Being up all night, it was something I could do easily. I just be up all night and up all day, a couple of hours sleep in between. Didn't need anything else. Not all the time, but sometimes. Not every day, but some days. And that was cool. I enjoyed that trip, and I'm pretty sure I went to the cinema. Yeah, I went to the cinema on the one travelling from England, or I think it was Wales actually, from Wales to Ireland to Amsterdam as well. Did I mention Amsterdam? Oh, I forgot about that. So I've travelled to Belgium 3 times. And then I travelled to Isle of Man. No, I travelled to Ireland twice. So that's going back in there and back twice. So that's 4 journeys. Isle of Man once, but 2 journeys, going there and back. And then I need to put them in the right order. Amsterdam was before the Isle of Man. So Amsterdam was about 2003 November, roughly. And that was a ferry there and a ferry back. So what's that? 3, 4. No, wait a minute. 3. I went to France as well. I forgot about France, so that's 2 ferries as well. Okay, let's go back. So, in my childhood, 3 times to Belgium, and then 1989, I went to France. So again, that's 2 ferries, one there and one back. So I went to France, and that was 1989, and then 1994 went to Ireland, then 1994 went to Ireland again, 1995 went to Ireland again, and then in 2003 I went to Amsterdam. In 2004 I went to the Isle of Man, and I haven't been on a ferry since. So it's like 21 years. I love ferries. So let's check that. It's how many? So it's, how many countries is that? Is the Isle of Man a country? I don't know. It's an island. I don't know if it's a country. So Belgium, France, Ireland, Isle of Man, no, Amsterdam, then the Isle of Man. So there's 5 different places, but I went to Belgium 3 times, Ireland twice. Did I do France? France, Belgium, France, and then Amsterdam, Isle of Man, I've missed one out. Belgium, France, Ireland. That's it. Okay. No, Belgium, France. Yeah, Ireland, Isle of Man, Amsterdam, and Isle of Man. So it's 5 different places, but quite a few different journeys. And I like ferries. So I suppose what I'm trying to say is the idea of being on a cruise actually appeals to me. The only problem I could think of, because I like to think of problems because it's useful. Yeah, okay. Is that going to be anywhere quiet for me to make a podcast? For me to make a recording? And I say podcast, but in 5-10 years' time, it might not be called podcast anymore. It might have a different name for it. It might just be a case of, who knows? Whatever the new technology is, I will just be doing it on that, I guess. But will there be I've never been on a quiet ship. So, but at the same time, I've never been in a cabin. Never stayed in a cabin, never paid to sleep on a boat or a ship, rather. So, I don't know if the cabins are quiet or not. I don't know. Yeah, that's interesting. Any suggestions? Anyone just listening that's still awake? Anyone? Anybody listening? So that is kind of what I'd like to do. I mean, from what it says here, let me have a look. Travel annuity. It'd be wonderful if you could quickly and easily head from England to France, Belgium, or the Netherlands. Technically, I travelled to the Netherlands, and then I got a train to Amsterdam. Unfortunately, though, no dogs are allowed on the Eurostar. I've not been on a Eurostar. That's something I've not done, so that'd be good. I mean, some people when they get, and these aren't bucket lists. I'm not really big into the old bucket list because I've attempted my bucket lists and neither of them have worked out very well recently. One was getting a psychology degree. That kind of failed at the first hurdle. Second hurdle, and getting a black belt, that kind of fell as well. It's at another hurdle, and my body's just not. It's not really capable of that kind of training anymore. Used to be, it's just not anymore. My back, you know, sometimes it's just, yeah. So I don't think of it as a bucket list, although I do like the idea of bucket lists, and that was a good movie. But, you know what I mean? I don't know. So things that I'd like to do, I suppose a bucket list would include getting married. But I don't know if that's something that would happen. It's possible. I mean, one of the only reasons, not the only reason, but one of the main reasons I don't have a girlfriend is because I never go out. I never meet anybody. Again, it's not the only reason. There's also how I look and how bad I smell. But those are other reasons that can be temporarily fixed. You know, I can have a wash and put a bag over my head. So that, you know, those can be fixed, but temporarily. But you never, you know, if I don't go out, I'm not going to meet anyone. Therefore, I'm not going to. That you know, that chemistry. It doesn't even have to be like a chemistry. It could just be a chemistry in the sense of you really like being in the company of someone. There's something about them you just like spending time with them. And I have that to a degree sometimes with people, as far as not on that level of like relationship level, but there is people that I enjoy seeing every now and then and talking to and stuff. And I quite like, I've got that with a couple of female friends, but there's nothing in it. There's nothing else involved in those friendships. It's just purely friends. I mean, one of them is actually an ex-girlfriend, but she's more like my sister now. We dated for a little while and, you know, it wasn't really going to work. And, yeah, it's just like a sister. And that suits me better, really. The next sentence I was about to say was wrong, so I'm not going to say it. Because I've always wanted to know. So then, I mean, if I was going to have a bucket list, what would it be, though? 'Cause I've not like in that. I'm not really in that kind of mode of, I want to jump out of a plane. I want to do a parachute jump. I want to do a bungee jump. I want to swim with sharks. What's wrong with you? Why would anyone want to do that? I don't. It's like, I want to tempt fate. That's what I want to do. I really want to push things to the limit. See how badly do you want me up there? Come on, I'm giving you a chance. No, I'm not going to do that. I would never bungee jump. Not on purpose. Never. Ever. Ever. It's like, why? It's just no. So yeah, that's not going to happen. Swimming, it's not really my thing anyway. I'm not necessarily that interested in going to exotic countries, necessarily, unless I'm safe. I have to be a safe traveller. I'm not into mountaineering. Mountaineering? I'm not a goat. No, I don't want to go climbing mountains or I don't want to go skiing down a mountain with no way of stopping apart from skill and talent. No. Well, the ability to ski, I suppose. But no, that's not. No, I did snowboarding back in Bulgaria in 2002. And I didn't enjoy it, if I'm honest. I didn't like it at all. The snowboarding part. It wasn't me. Wasn't for me. And back then I was physically fit. I was a young man still. I was only in my early 40s or 30s. 2002. 2002. I was still 31. Still 31. So, was it, or was it 2003? No, it's definitely 2002. Yeah. It was one of those situations where a friend phoned me up and said, we've had someone pull out of a holiday that we're going on. I said, who's we? He said, oh, me and my friends. I said, okay, why are you telling me? He said, oh, I don't know if you want to come along. What, to the holiday that I wasn't invited to in the first place? Yeah. Why wasn't I invited? That's because no one likes you. Okay. So do you want to come? I said, yeah, cool. So I went along. And I had to pay, which I could because I was working. So I had to pay a deposit, and then I had to pay the rest, a few weeks later. And this is probably the beginning of the year, and we went in probably March, I think, end of February, March time. And unfortunately, it cost all my money went on the trip because it wasn't cheap. And I had hardly any money to take with me. Which is a little bit weird considering I was working full time. I don't know why I had no money. I got no idea. Why didn't I have any money? So I didn't, I thought, I was told it was a skiing holiday. Now, I didn't really know what snowboarding was, but if you'd have said a snowboarding holiday, I would have known that it wasn't a skiing holiday. I didn't know what snowboarding was, but I knew it wasn't skiing, because skiing sounds different. It's Ian, Ordin, or it sounds different. It's a different word. So I possibly would have gone and asked someone or gone online or whatever, to find out what snowboarding is. As some of you might think, well, you didn't know what snowboarding was. You booked on a holiday, you didn't to go snowboarding, you didn't know what it was, did you? No, I just explained. I didn't know it was a snowboarding holiday. I thought it was a skiing holiday. Never been skiing before, but I just figured that having a ski on each foot would be preferential to standing on top of a big tennis racket. Okay, it wasn't a tennis racket, but it was, basically, it was a skateboard without wheels. But with a skateboard, at least you can drop off. If the skateboard goes flying somewhere else, you can just try and land safely. With these things, they're stuck to your feet. So wherever they go, you go. So yeah, I didn't it wasn't for me. I've never really been into, I guess, winter sports, water sports either. I remember I met someone, I think it was on online. I had a few people were all seemed to be interested in what kind of activities and holidays I seemed to like, and the amount that just didn't contact me afterwards when I answered. And like, do you enjoy water sports? I was like, I think about 15 different women asked me that, and I said no, I don't. I mean, how can we all like different? I like boxing, and I don't know, weird. I can't remember what that app was. Dating and pissing, I think it was. I don't know. Quickly, let's move on. I think I'm not really into. They were definitely pissed off. I definitely, I would. Yeah, I don't think there's any kind of adventure holiday that I'd be up for, which maybe doesn't make me sound very exciting. Although I used to be in love with someone who worked in a coffee place. I mean, I was just besotted with her. I don't know why, but I do know why. It's just something. There was just really, really liked her, and she was into like swimming, like underneath the ocean with snorkeling, or do they call it snorkeling? I don't know, but she used to do that. I would never do that. I wouldn't even do that in a puddle. Not that you could do it in a puddle, but you know what I mean. I wouldn't even do it when there was no possibilities of a shark arriving. And I remember there was days when sharks were the things you'd be worried about. Stingrays weren't scary. Now stingrays are, it's like, come on. I'm not doing that. No. I like the costume though. That's definitely something that I would wear to a wedding. That would be something that I would happily wear, walking around, flippers, and all that big costume on, and the goggles. Oh, I think it just looks so nice. To be fair, some of the women that on that dating site probably would have been happy me wearing that. Strange. I was on this one dating site. It was years ago, and it was like a telephone talking thing, but it wasn't like a weird thing. It was just like for just people, humans. Okay, not humans, but it wasn't a premium thing, which it wasn't one of those. And I remember going on there, and this was in my late 20s, and I'll be on there on my mobile phone, I think. And it was really strange, because it was a little bit like you'd come through. Isn't there like a chat roulette or something, or there used to be, where you'd come through, you'd say hello to them, and then either you could get rid of them, or they can get rid of you, and you go on to the next person. That's what this was, but on the phone. It was like the original version of that, I guess, but a long time ago. And I ended up dating a few women from that, meeting them and going out. I say dating, but I guess it was a precursor to Tinder, I suppose. And I forget what it was. I forget what it was called. I'll think of a name. And I dated. Well, I say dated, but I met up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can only think of 5 people that I met up with. So 5 females. One I went all the way to Birmingham to see. And I was talking, and these are people that I talked to for quite a long time before I met them. I got on really well with them. I liked them a lot. No, 6. There was another one, but I never met her. There was a lot that I didn't meet, but I actually met up with 1. Okay, I'll go by my memory of them. So 1 was, I really kind of fell for her on the phone. And we'd talk for hours and hours every day. I mean, it was only on that machine, you know, the app. Well, not, it wasn't called an app by then at that time, but only on this telephone dating thing for a little while, and then it went, you know, talking on our own phones. And she lived in Essex. I lived in Stratford, so she lived in Essex. So I kind of was talking to her for months, in fact, months. But she didn't want to meet, and I didn't really know why. But we did meet in the end. And then there was another one who I went after work, and we were talking for weeks and weeks and weeks. And I went around there after work, and I didn't see her again after that. But she had a kid, so like a toddler, and I liked her. I don't know what happened there, actually. I can't remember. And like, after, why I didn't see her again. Why? Maybe she didn't want to see me, possibly. Hard to believe, but yeah. Yeah, it's very hard to believe. So that's 2. The third one, this was a bit of a strange one, because not the person, well, I went round her house, or it was her flat, and we'd been talking for weeks and weeks and weeks, and she invited me round. Again, it might have been, I might have gone round her after work, or just, it might have been a Sunday, I don't know. But I went round there, and so she's standing there in her living room, and she hands me a rose. So I'm like, okay, cool. And then she says some stuff. I didn't really know what she was really talking about, but I guess I possibly wasn't listening. But she didn't have much blood in my head at the time, and she pulled the bed out of a sofa, like a sofa in the living room. So she pulled it into a bed, you know, out. It was a sofa bed that she pulled out. We got in, and she rolled over and went to sleep. Like, I thought she was joking, because I've done that a few times as a joke. Once I actually did fall asleep, but she was gone, like completely unconscious. And I didn't know what to do, because I thought there'd be some kind of, there wasn't even a conversation. So I tried sleeping a little bit. I felt like I knew her, because I've been talking to her for weeks, like every day for weeks. And in the end, I go and sit in the chair, turn the TV on. She wasn't disturbed by anything, so I thought, watch the TV. But she wouldn't wake up, and even in the morning, I mean, it wasn't 8 hours, but at least 6 hours later, probably, I don't know, 8 in the morning. Well, no, probably about 6 in the morning. So I probably got there about 11 or 12 in the evening. And she's just like fast asleep. And I didn't know what to do. I felt very awkward. Like, what, do I stay here? What if she wakes up and she forgot I'm here and she sees me, and that might be weird. What if I go to sleep and then I wake up and I forget where I am? That would be weird as well. What if we both wake up and forget about each other? You know, it just those kind of scenarios in my head. And I didn't know what to do. I genuinely didn't know what to do. So in the end, I just left. I waited till about 8 o'clock. So I think there was a McDonald's. I had to wait until there was a McDonald's not far away. I had to wait for that to open because I was hungry. So I think I went and got a McDonald's and just came home. Well, not here, but where I was living at the time. It'd be weird if I came here, wouldn't it? Like 20 years before I even moved in. That'd be strange. Just knock on door. I think I forgot my key. Who are you? I live here. No, you don't. Oh, yeah. Bye. Vinny's been very temperamental with his food lately. And I don't know why. I don't know what it is. So yeah, I was thinking, oh, there's another, oh man. So that's three that I met. A fourth person. She lived in Birmingham. So I travelled all the way to Birmingham from London to see her. And I get a taxi to where she lives. I've got her address and everything. We've been sending letters to each other, love letters, all that stuff. And I get there, and she's got... I knew she had kids, so it's not like it was a surprise. But she had lots of kids, and it was almost a feral situation, in a sense of the kids were just doing whatever they wanted. And you might think, okay, yeah, I'm exaggerating. We were in the kitchen talking, me and her, okay? And one of the kids said, quick, Mum, you gotta look at this. And we go out. And at least two of the kids were chucking rocks at the house opposite, at their windows. And that was just within me being there for about 10 minutes. So imagine what they do when they don't have any guests. Well, they don't have visitors. You know, this was them on their best behaviour. And it was just like weird. And it's very chaotic. And that's when I realised that I liked her. I fancied her. And I liked talking to her on the phone, and she was funny, and I was attracted to her as well. But there was that was a lifestyle that I just... It was kind of a little bit like my own lifestyle, my own childhood when I lived in Newcastle, a bit of chaos. And I didn't really, wasn't really my scene. Weird, it was strange. But I left, got a taxi back to the train station and came home. Yeah. Nothing happened there either. So far, how many is that? That's how many? How many people? It's one. So there's one there. 1, 2, 3, 4. So only 50% of the people I met up with did anything mildly romantic happen in person. But beforehand, full on romance and lovey-dovey on the phone and by post. I was quite into poetry back then. Although I did have met one lady and she was always correct my spelling. I sent her a love poem. It's a very short poem, but it was like I thought I'd express my full intention of love towards her. It was on Valentine's Day, funny enough, and all she could do is say, "Oh," she had to spelling mistake. I had to correct my spellings. There's only 2 L's in swallow. It's like, well, I thought there was 4. I don't know. What, blimey? She said, and no. So what do you mean no? She said, I'm just answering a question. I said, I didn't ask you a question. She said, do you not even look at what you send? So it was a poem. Yeah, but the poem was like, okay, shush, stop. She said, do not shush me. I'm an independent person. Don't you shush me. None of that happened. So and then there was another, I can't even tell you this one. This was, another weird, I had a very weird situation where I'm not going to tell you about it, but I got out of there very quickly as soon as I saw what was going on. It was, someone basically it was like a prank, and it's not someone that I'd spoken to a lot, once or whatever, and twice, and it's like, okay, this is weird. So anyway, nothing happened there. And there was someone else. Yeah, oh no, this is later on, so I think that's it. There might have been more, I can't remember. And one of the other things that I try not to have Vinny barking is when we're going in the hallway, out and in and out of the building, and then when there's another dog, that annoys me when he's barking at other dogs, because it just feels uncomfortable, you know. And then I can't remember what other reasons. I think his barking is so high pitched, it really doesn't fit into my eardrums so very well. Although, are you awake? Why are you staring at your bum? He was just there with his head down, like staring at his bum. Do you need a poo-poo or a wee-wee? Is that what you need? Do you need wee-wees? You are so pretty. Yes, you are. I don't know what he stares at his bum for. It's like, I don't know what he's expecting to happen. That's it. I don't know really what I covered in this recording. I seem to have been talking for more than 20 minutes, but what did I say? I've no idea. How am I supposed to give this a title? Ferries. So I call it called Ferries. That's what I'm going to call this. Ferries and water sports. I don't know. Ferries. That's something I did talk about a bit. I've told this story before, but it was an embarrassing situation. Going to Ireland the second time, I met this girl on there. I mean, I was 24, she was probably about the same age, 22, 23. And we spent pretty much the whole journey together. It's a long journey, because it's overnight, so it's pretty much all night. And we got on really well. I never once asked her why she was going over there. But we went to the cinema, We had a laugh. It wasn't romantic, but it was, you know, it was just nice. And she left. And when we departed, when we got off the ferry, she said, "I'll see you." I said, "Bye." She said, "I'm going to go and see my boyfriend." I said, "Okay." "I'm going to go and see all my girlfriends, all my 17 different girlfriends." She laughed. And we left. And that was it. And then I got, just went our different separate ways. But then the ferry, the bus, because we had to get onto a coach, and they were all going different directions. I needed a coach to take me to Carlo, or the bus to take me to Carlo, because I got the bus to the ferry. So I got a bus from London. Vinny, I gave you a bit of attention, and now you're just annoying me and my leg. It's still dark. Is the sun gone down? It's only 5 o'clock. 5:05. 5:05. Still light outside. Still light after 6 o'clock now. Well, it's till 6. I mean, I love this time of year because it's, I don't know, it's a different energy, like springtime. It's almost, there's possibilities. Does that make sense? Possibilities, opportunities, a bit of, I don't know, I just like it. All right, Vinny, what are you doing, you little chomper? You little chomper, what? Anyway, so I'm going to the, I have to make my way to the coach station. So I'm coming out of the thing. I don't know who it was. I think I saw someone that was on the original coach. Who I didn't see them on the ferry, but I was sitting next to them on the coach from London to Wales. So I kind of got to know them a little bit. And then I started talking to this guy. So I kind of, I don't know his name, but I see him, and he's inside the ferry place, when you come out or wherever. I don't know, but he was there. Or was it? Or did we get? It was like, I suppose from the ferry there was a bus to Dublin. But anyways, in Dublin, I know because there was a McDonald's there, and so I'm talking to him, and some other blokes come up, and he's talking to them, and he's saying he met a nice girl on the coach, on the ferry. And I said, "You know what? So did I. I met someone lovely," and I was describing her, perhaps in too much detail, to be fair. It was all complimentary, but in hindsight, perhaps I shouldn't have said anything. And so he's talking. There's a couple of other blokes there as well. They're waiting around, and we're just all laughing. I'm making them laugh, or they're laughing, maybe at me. I don't know. Do a little bit of farting. I used to be able to do little songs in farts, and I was talking about this lady because I figured, well, I'm not going to see her again. It doesn't really matter. I'm not being detrimental, but I was just all rude, really, just saying how lovely she was, really, and how she was begging me to take her with me, but I said no, I couldn't be bothered. I had things to do. I needed to. I said, look, I came to Ireland to get away from all the women chasing me, and they laughed at that. And the next thing is, the bloke says, "Oh, there's my girlfriend." This is one of the other blokes, and it was the one that I'd spent the whole time on the ferry with. I thought, oh, because she's probably going to come over, say hello to him, say hello to me, and introduce me to him, saying, "Oh, we spent the whole ferry, together. We went to the cinema," and the fact that I'd just been talking about her, like, not talking about her badly, generally, but it's like a joke, really, it was, but, you know, making out that she fancied me and that, it's very awkward. So what I did is I ran. I got out of there really quickly and got to the thing is, she was waving. I think she was waving at me, but then I got to in my mind she was, and I got to the McDonald's and I just hid. And I just thought, why did I get myself into that situation? Just for the sake of, like, a joke, making out that there was, you know, someone was chasing me around a whole journey, like a Benny Hill sketch, being chased by women, and I was like just trying to hide from her, you know, lifeboats and stuff, because she was desperate for my underpants. I don't know. Yeah, it backfired a little bit, but yeah, that was weird. She was lovely. I've met a few really, really lovely women over the years travelling, and there was one years ago, and I can't even remember where I was going. It was on a coach though. Maybe it was a long journey, and she had, I think, a cello with her, and she was in an orchestra and stuff, and I don't know where she was going. It might have been the Irish trip, or it might have been when I was travelling up to somewhere else. It was a long journey anyway. I think it was on a train, and she was so lovely. But yeah, I think she had a boyfriend, and I think I'd be one of those men that, you know, even when I was younger, someone that was maybe nice to talk to, but that was it. You know, I don't think a lot of women over the years when I was younger and that really took me seriously as a person, or as a potential partner, or, you know, as it were. But that might have been my problem. That might have been my fault for dressing as a rabbit. I don't know. It's hard to tell, isn't it? So I'm going to go. So I'm glad that I was able to really cover everything. This is what's happened this week. That's what this recording was about. What happened this week, and I've ended up talking about ferries. So, I'm going to go. I will be back again tomorrow with another Let Me Bore You to Sleep. So, thank you for listening. Remember to be kind to yourself, because you do deserve to be happy. Be gentle with yourself. Lots of love. As soon as I say that, video's up. Bye. What? Want to go for a walk? Go for a walk. Come on then. Come on, let's go for a walk. You want to go for a walk? You want to go for a walk?